Good morning, שפע ברכה והצלחה, שיעור למשפטם של הקדושים והטהורים, ופרשת בחוקותיי. פרשת בחוקותיי, very interesting parasha, which it looks like in בחוקותיי תלך ותצאת תשמור, if we keep the laws and everything, we will get all the good of the world. ונתתי גשמכם בעיתם, so from one point is, well, we all know, אין שכר, there is no reward in this world. The reward is the next world. So what's going on here? So first of all, we have to understand, in בחוקותיי תלך, if we go and keep the Torah, then the world has, let's say, a base for existence. Because אם לא תורתי חוקות שמיים וארץ, or something, if we don't keep the Torah, if there is no Torah, there is no world. It's going to be destroyed. So what really the Torah is telling us, אם בחוקותיי תלך, if we keep the Torah, then the world will function as best as it can. And if we don't keep the Torah, it's not going to function. That's the first thing. Or Chaim HaKadosh, for example, gave 42 explanations about this pasuk, which is very interesting and a very interesting story behind it, but we won't go into the story. One of the explanations is, if we go according to the laws of the Torah and keep the mitzvahs, ועשיתם אותם. It's like when you do a certain thing, you have to get to the level that you are used to it. In other words, for example, when I was a kid, I used to go to my grandmother, and the neighbor had a donkey, and it was, you have trees behind the house and everything. So I used to ride the donkey and go into the pardes, into the trees, and then out again and again. And after I did it a few times, I didn't need to to lead the donkey. It was going by itself. Going but the same way that I did it a few times. He got used to it, and he was doing it the same way. Or, for example, I used to go to work in a certain way, and one day I had to go somewhere else for a meeting, but I didn't think, and I'm finding myself going to work instead of to the meeting. So this is exactly what David HaMelech says. Whatever I wanted, Chishavti Drachai, I was thinking about what I'm going to do, but I'm finding myself going to Beis HaMidrash. I'm going to learn Torah. So the idea is that get ourselves to a level that the Torah is a part of us, so like we're going into it without even thinking. It's like a way of life to do like this. But don't forget, it's a way of life, but do think. Do think what you're doing, because if we do things without thinking, it's losing a lot of the meaning. And when we're talking about Im Becukotai telechu, so idea is Bekol drachecha de'eru. Says he gives a lot of explanations. You have to know God in all the ways. In other words, we have to learn and understand, and only when we learn and understand, we can keep the Torah properly and do the mitzvahs properly. If you learn, then you can keep it in a proper way, because sometimes people think they get to those ideas that got nothing to do with the reality of the Torah. But he read something. He didn't go into it. He didn't learn what it's exactly. And that's one of the big problems. So we have to understand, we have to go and learn and go deep to it. If we keep the Torah, if we learn the Torah, then we can keep the mitzvahs. And it's like when people learn the Torah and get that this is a way of life. This is the way you are. This is the way you do act. For example, I am now in Tokyo. And Bet Chabad have got no minyan. And Siyata Deshmaya, there is a group here from the States that are having a tour in Tokyo, and they happen to be in my hotel, the same hotel. And I met somebody, and they says, yes, they're davening tomorrow. So I was looking for it, and I was asking God, help me. And here, this morning, I had a minyan, and I prayed in a minyan, which is unbelievable. And this is also, all this, what you do when you are on holiday, what you do when you are out of your ways, your normal ways. How do you act? Are you with the Torah, Im Becukotai telechu, or are you, okay, I'm now here, I don't have to consider all those things, I don't have to worry. That's the situation. But that's exactly the point. You have to worry. You have to be connected to the Torah in a way that whatever it is, to always think how to keep the Torah wherever you are, whatever you do. And this is the idea of keeping the Torah in a proper way. When we talk about all those things, one of the things that is really aggravating me sometimes is God is saying, I will walk amongst you, and I'll be your God, and you will be my people, my nation. And one of the things that Or Chaim HaKadosh gives also an explanation in Becukotai Tishmoru, is that we are not like an animal, like a beast. A beast get born, it stays the same. There is no development. But a human being, Adam, develops himself. That's why now we're in Sfirat HaOmer. What's the idea of Sfirat HaOmer? Sfirat HaOmer, we start with, I think barley, call it, which is a food of animals. And we add with wheat, which is the food of man, of human being. And what's the idea? The idea is to hire ourselves and build ourselves through Sfirat HaOmer and elevate ourselves to the level of Adam, of a man, of a human being, of a proper man. And to says our Chaim HaKadosh, in Becukotai Telecho, we are not like animals. Animals don't develop, they don't elevate themselves. But we are, on the contrary, we have to develop ourselves, otherwise we are like animals. And this is exactly the point that we have to put it in ourselves. We are talking in our parasha about blessing and also, unfortunately, curses if we don't listen to God. And we have to, in order to win the blessing, we have to get as far away as we can from the beastly part of us, from the ego trip of us. And this is all the idea of Sfirat HaOmer, to get and elevate ourselves and build ourselves, but together with all the others, to get to the moment that we'll be together receiving the Torah. And when we talk about all those things, we see another interesting thing. Sometimes we don't agree with people and we don't understand how don't they see the truth. So the truth is that sometimes we don't realize that people are raised up in a different way from us. And they don't see the things as the way we see them. And it's not a matter of what is true or what is a lie, what is the right way or the wrong way. It depends on, first of all, the way you educate your children, the way people are educated and the way they live. And the facilities where you are and all those things, they make you. And sometimes our point of view has to change in order to understand the other side. From the same reason that we didn't all get the same education and the same tradition, and like a Christian believes in that, Muslim believes in that, and they believe that they are in the right way. Of course we are in the right way, but that's not the point. The point is to understand and realize that not everybody thinks like us. And for example, even food. Now in Japan, there's a different food. Now today it's not like it used to be, but there is a traditional Japanese food. For example, wasabi is something very, very hot. And we have the chrein, for example. Or the Yamanite have the schuk. And like gefilte fish and herring, and they have sushi or all the other things. So we see that every nation's got their own taste, their own tradition, and this is what we have to understand. And at the end of the day, all of those outside things, those are not the things that lead you to happiness. In order to lead to happiness, you have to be in the, let's say, a spiritual level, and to understand and realize what is the truth and what is really the asset of life. And when we talk about it, what is the asset of life? The Rav Dessler says that there is no, let's say, happiness in a physical way. Only a spiritual happiness is a real happiness. And when we talk about just that, wow, if I have a lot of money, if I have cars and houses and good health, I'm happy. It says, yes, but this is not the real happiness. Because, you know, when you eat something and you had this best meal in the world, after you are full and you eat, are you happy? When you bought a new car, how long are you going to be happy and excited about this car? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months? And the key for real happiness is in the spiritual way, in the Torah. And each one of us got this point inside. And as the Rav Dessler said, we look in the world and you will see the poor want to be rich, the rich want to be richer. And like, for example, I was talking with somebody the last week, he says in America, like the idea of going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist is something from the routine, from life, like everybody's going there. Why? What happened? life is from one way much easier than what it used to be. So you have to be content and enjoy life and be happy. So why are people not happy? Because the physical side, the running after the desires and the wealth and all those last things, the things that you want from the physical point of view, if it's the nice life, if it's holidays and good clothes and good food and a house and all the best of this physical world, of this olam hazeh, this is not giving you any, let's say, health from the point of view of a spiritual health. So the soul needs the spiritual side, not the physical side. And if you think about it, you will see whatever it is. Look at the world. Things are so easy today, and used to be so hard if we look backwards, 100 years ago, or even 80 years ago, to wash, to prepare food. It all took time to get to another land, to another place. It took much more time. Today, everything, everything happens quickly. So we should have been like happy and having a lot of time to spend on doing good things or nice things. But the real fact is that we're all running and we've got no time. Why? Because that's exactly the point. It's like the Torah is telling us, sometimes we are running like something is chasing us, and we're frightened of things that we imagine to ourselves because of this way of living. So the idea is, first of all, confront your fears in a right way and understand and realize that the only fear you need to have is the fear of God, and this is a good fear. To understand and realize that behind everything God is, and God rules the world, God controls everything, and God wants only the best for us. And regarding all what other people think, they can think whatever they want because they were raised up in a way they were raised up, and this is not our way. We have to understand and realize that we have a different way. We have the way of the Torah. And if they don't understand us, this is their problem, not our problem. We see what's happening all around the world today. And why is it? Because they are all, at the end of the day, understand and realize that the truth is with us, with the Jewish nation. And it hurts them to know that the real truth is go with the way of the Torah, the right way and the best way that can be. So, in Becukotai telechu, if we go with the laws of the Torah, and we are gain two things. First of all, yes, there is no reward in this world, but there are good things that are going to happen to us in order to help us to go in the best way we can to keep the Torah. Because if you show God that you use the tools, it's not the task, it's not the mission that I will have a nice car, nice food, holidays. No, it's the way to get closer to God. So if I have a nice home, a nice wife, a nice husband, nice tools, and I have holidays to rest and have power to worship God, that's the best thing in the world, no problem. In Becukotai telechu, and it's not a reward, it's the tools that God gives us in order to keep the Torah in the best way we can, because this is the asset of the whole idea. This is in Becukotai telechu, if we keep the Torah. So it's going to give us the rain and everything. Reward? No, impossible. You like imagine to yourself, you have a big, huge diamond that is worth $20 million, and you go to the Makolet, you want to buy milk. You cannot buy milk with it because the Makolet man, he's got no change for you. Even if he sell the whole Makolet, he hasn't got the change to give you the change. And that's exactly the reward in the next world. You cannot use it here because it's so big that it's nothing to do with this world. From the other point of view, yes, you can have good life, a nice wife, if you in Becukotai telechu, if we go in the way of the Torah. Then Kodesh Baruch Hu will see that we're doing the right thing, and we're building ourselves in order to get Keish Echad Belev Echad, to be one, to be united, to use our tools in the best way, and understand there is nothing to fear from. If we go in the right way, even if it looks like something that we have to fight, just don't be afraid, because you are going in the right way. And if you're going in the right way, all the best is going to happen. Of course, here and there you have obstacles. They're not obstacles, they are challenges in order to elevate ourselves to a higher level. The situation that we are in here now, the only solution for this situation is to raise up the Torah. In Bechukotai Tati Shalom Ba'aretz, God is promising us peace. When is He promising us peace? If we go in the laws of the Torah. So we have to try and do as best as we can in going the way of the Torah. Even take on ourselves something more from last week, from that we did last year, and do something more in order to show God, yes, we are trying more, we are trying harder, and let all the others that were raised up in different ways. It's not a matter of Muslims or Christians that just raised up with knowing nothing about our tradition. Our brothers, they know nothing, so it's our job to show them the right way, to show them the way of the Torah. And we have to get used to the way of the Torah in a way that is a part of our life. And Bezrat Hashem, if we do this, we will gain the Yeshua Gdola, V'natati Shalom Ba'aretz, and nobody is going to chase us anymore, and all the world is going to be united with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, with Am Yisrael, and the Mashiach will come, Bezrat Hashem, Amen.